Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vance. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make this trendy cowl neck backless top. It's a very easy tutorial, so if you're interested, let's get right into it. So for this tutorial, I'll be making use of a 1 yard of chiffon fabric. You can make use of a vintage fabric, something lightweight, so that the cowl neck can drop. So this was me when I went ahead to fold my fabric into two. It has to be into two. The upper part of this fabric is folded. As you can see, it's folded, so yours should be like that. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to take the width of my top. So for the width of this top, I'll be using 25 inches. Now this varies on your size. Because I'm in a small size, I had to use 25 inches. If you're in a big size, you can use 27, 28. If you're a plus size, you can use 30 inches. But for my size, I used 25 inches. So when I marked it, I went ahead right now to use my ruler to connect all of the points that I made into a straight line, just the way you see me doing. So after connecting all of these into a straight line, the next thing I did was to take my vertical measurement. So because it's an off shoulder, I'll go ahead right now to minus 5 inches from it. Are you seeing? I minus 5 inches. Sorry, that part is not really showing. So from there, I'm going to take my half length. My half length is 16 inches. So I'll go ahead right now and mark my half length. So from that 16 inches, I'm going to mark my hip length. If you want this top to stop at your hip length, you can actually go ahead and mark your hip length right now. So I marked my hip length, but I don't want it to stop at my hip length, so I now came up from my hip line by 2 inches. So my hip line is 10. I came up by 2 inches, making it 8 inches. So I went ahead to check the total of what I had. So the total of what I had is 24 inches. So I'll be making use of 24 inches for my length. You can make use of 26 inches. As I said earlier, you can use your hip line, but me, I came up from my hip line by 2 inches. So I went ahead to mark this 24 inches all through to the width. So the next thing I did right now is to go ahead and cut. So I went ahead to cut where I'm going to concentrate on, so the whole of this thing is not going to confuse us, since my chalk wasn't showing very well. It wasn't even showing, so that's why I went ahead to cut it out for better understanding. So when I was done cutting it out, guys, the next thing I'm going to do now, because this top is an asymmetric top, one side is short while the other side is long. So what I went ahead to do right now is to get the shorter part. So for the shorter part, from my 16 inches, I came down by 3 inches. You know my half length is 16 inches. So from that 16 inches mark, I came down by 3 inches. You can actually go beyond 3 inches, but I decided to go for 3 inches because of my height and because of my size. So I marked it there. You can mark 4 inches, you can mark 5 inches, just depend on what you want exactly. You can be creative about the whole asymmetric thing. So when I marked that 3 inches, I went ahead to connect it to the 24 inches because it's an asymmetric top. So this was me connecting it down to the 24 inches mark, that's to the hem of our top. So when I was done, guys, I went ahead to cut it out. So guys, we now have our asymmetric top. Is that easy? So next thing I did was to trim out all of the excesses that was around this area because I wanted it to be equal. So this was when I was trimming it out. When I'm done with this, the next thing I will do will be to notch. So I went ahead to notch because that's where one of ropes will be passing through. So I'll go ahead right now and set it aside, and I will cut the rope. So for this rope, guys, I cut 4 of the ropes. One will be at the tip of the blouse, and then the other 2 is going to be at the waistline. That's the half length, which is 16 inches. So for the length of the rope, you can use anything that you want. I actually made use of 3.5. So I just marked it because this chiffon fabric was just shaking and it wasn't giving me a straight line, so I just had to mark it, like I boil it. But for you, you can actually go ahead with the measurements and the rest. So when I was done, I went ahead to cut out just the way you see me doing. So after cutting this part, guys, I will also go ahead and bring in the fabric, place the one that I've cut on the fabric, and then I'll just cut the same size. So this was when I was done cutting, guys. I cut 4 pieces of this rope. So I'll go to my sewing machine right now and I'll fold it this way and I'll sew it down by 1/2 inch, and I'll show you how it looks when I'm done sewing. So this was when I was done sewing, and I've also gone ahead to iron it out. The next thing I'm going to do is to bring in our top, and then I'll start placing the rope at the necessary points that I need to place it. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead right now to place it on the 1/2 length line. So this is my 1/2 length line. I'll go ahead right now and place it like this. So I'll place it like this and I will pin it down. I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll go ahead and place it at the tip. Sorry, that part is not showing, but this is at the folded edge. That's this, like the starting line, and then I'll put it there, and I'll also do the same thing. So since I don't have the mark for the 1/2 length, I'll go ahead now and take my 1/2 length line, which is 16 inches. I'll mark it and I'll place one of the rope there. So this was me when I placed it. I'll do the same thing for this part, that place that I notched. I'll place this other rope there. So I'll go to my sewing machine right now. I'll turn it over. I'll go to my sewing machine and I will sew it, and I'll show you how it looks. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. Are you seeing the rope is inside? Your rope has to be inside, not outside, please. So this was me turning it out so that I could give it a good press. So this is our top, guys. It's actually beautiful. So now I'll just go, at this point I'll put hemming gum under there, so I'll go and iron it. So this is it when I was about to iron it. So I'll go ahead right now to use my steam iron to give it a good press. So make sure you bring out all of the edges out before ironing, all of the edges around it. Bring it all out, then iron. So at this end, I'm going to infuse my hemming gum so that you can actually stitch it inside, but if you want it to be more neat, you can just put your hemming gum. But if you don't want the hemming gum, you can just stop stitch on that end. So when I'm done ironing, guys, I'm going to wear my mannequin and you're going to see our beautiful top. So this was it when I wore my mannequin. Are you seeing how pretty this top is? Even the color, everything is so fine. Thank you guys for watching my video to the end. I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. So this is the back view of our top. I see. Bye, guys.